Diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and we are presented by the Hula Bowl. Today I have with me Parker Ferguson. He's currently an offensive lineman for the New York Jets. He is actually fortunate to play in that event at the Hula Bowl. So how you doing today, sir?
Hey, I'm doing good, Jimmy. Thanks for having me on. Excited to talk with you.
Great. For people that really don't know your story, can you just kind of I don't know, give us some of your background if you don't mind.
Yeah, so funny enough, I played defensive lineman in high school. So went to the Air Force Academy. It was my only Division I offer there. Was able to really transform my body and work really hard, get into a really good system at Air Force. And I was a 3-year starter my sophomore, junior, senior year. Was first team all conference senior year. We had a really good run while I was there, won the Cheez-It Bowl. Beat Washington State in that game. And I had a fun career. Really enjoyed my time at the Air Force Academy. Now I'm a rookie here in the Jets organization playing center and guard.
So, yeah, I feel like you had a good run there at Air Force. Your last year there being named, first team all conference. I think a lot of people were very curious about you, coming out. You're kind of one of those guys that I feel like a lot of teams might have been hoping to land you there on day 3. So obviously it was a long journey to get you where you are. But let's back up and talk about this Hula Bowl. So tell me about what happened when you were selected for that event. How did you hear that news?
For sure. I think it was over Twitter, to be honest. Got a DM saying they were interested, sent some information back and forth, talked to my agent about it. We came to the decision that it was a great idea to go for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons, as you just mentioned, being a day 3 guy with some question marks around me, coming from a triple option offense, we only threw the ball probably 10 to 12 times a game at the Air Force Academy. As you know, service academies don't throw as much, more run offenses. So wanted to go there and play center, play guard, play those positions that I knew that NFL scouts and teams would be looking at me as, do some pass blocking, one-on-ones, the scrimmages, all those things that I was able to do at practice, was very important with my pre-draft and evaluation process. So, I was super excited about it. Obviously, a chance to travel to Hawaii as it was in 2021. Amazing experience. Had a few other friends who were going also. So, I was pumped. I think it was the last weekend of January, right between the AFC and NFC championship games, and the Super Bowl was that weekend right in between. So I was like, heck yeah, let's go play some ball, go to Hawaii. It was great.
Yeah, the event this year is going to be January 15th. So it's interesting because, this year, unfortunately, it's not going to be in Hawaii. It's going to be in Orlando, Florida. For a lot of people, it's all about that Hawaiian experience. Was that your first time in Hawaii?
It was my second time. I played at the University of Hawaii my junior year. So it was my second time playing in the famed stadium, which is no longer there, which I know why you're moving the event. Second time there. First time really exploring and enjoying the town, though.
Cool. So, they didn't have it maybe as many things as they would have, because of the pandemic. I think for some people, having that event in Orlando is kind of a blessing in a weird sort of way because it's a little bit more accessible. I feel like a lot more people are going to come this year, because it's just the location is great. We'll be able to get a whole bunch of scouts easily to that event. It's not going to be as expensive as ticket to Hawaii. So
I agree. And plus, being in Hawaii was cool, but the reason you went was for the scouts, for the interviews with the scouts, for the drills, the coaching. and the exposure. That's why you go to the Hula Bowl. You know what I mean? The Hawaii thing is secondary. So all that great exposure will probably be even more so now that it's more of an accessible place.
Yeah, I mean, there's some fun things in Florida. There's Mickey Mouse is in Florida, so
That's right. Yeah.
so it's not that bad.
You're not doing it in the middle of Kansas or something, is what you're saying. You're going to still Florida. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's a nice area. So tell me about that week. I mean, obviously, a lot of scouts are really more, honed into like the week prior to the game. I mean, I know the game is the game, but I mean, walk me through like that practice there.
Totally.
You playing at perhaps some positions that you may not have, played as much there at Air Force. Walk me through that if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you're right. The game Saturday or Sunday, I forget what day it was. That was kind of like the cherry on top. It felt like all of the work beforehand was kind of the main reason you were there. But yeah, when we arrived, first day we were there, we took the official combine style, hand size, height, weight, down to the underwear, right? So no exaggeration, just how they do it at the combine or your pro day or whatever. All the official measurements, and then pretty much from there, you have your phone number is made available to all the scouts. So pretty much right when you get there, I remember even before I landed, I think it was the Dolphins had already created a time for me to meet. So I was like, hey, I mean, this is exactly why I wanted to come here. The scout exposure, talking to them. So I forget how many it was. I think it was around 15 teams, 15 scouts I was able to talk to for 20, 30 minutes. They could get to know me better, get to know my style of play. And then you're exactly right. When we hit the field, I think we had like 3 padded practices and then the game. So that was, 3 times to go out, try new positions, try different new things, show it to scouts, because you don't want the first time, at least for me, I didn't want the first time I was playing center to be in an NFL training camp or OTAs or the rookie mini camp. I wanted to have experience doing that beforehand, which I was able to do at the Hula Bowl. So it was awesome from on the field, off the field. The scouts was one of the main reasons I wanted to go and the good reasons I went.
So, I mean, tell me about some of the relationships that you built like during your time there. I mean, maybe, with some of the players that were there, but also, you had some great coaches, at that event. I mean, who was your head coach? Like, who was the head coach that you were under at the game?
I was Coach Singletary.
Nice.
Coach Singletary. Yeah, we had some super cool coaches. It was funny looking back. Coach Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez were the head coach and offense coordinator for the other team, and now I'm with the Jets now. So kind of a fun little small world thing there. But yeah, relationships, super cool, especially with the guys that you meet. Football is such a small fraternity. The college football and then pro football is even such a smaller fraternity. So, for instance, my roommate there, Chris Garrett, was drafted rather in the 7th round by the Rams. So it's been cool. We had 4 or 5 days together as roommates there. It's been cool to see his success. A bunch of other friends there were signed. A few guys with the Jets I know were at the Hula Bowl. Isaiah Dunn is a guy when we talked about it before. He's with us now. So yeah, great relationships, great coaching opportunities, and then especially last year, I don't know who the coaches are this year, but I remember the guys on defense were just out of their mind that Coach Mike Singletary was their coach. You know what I mean? I don't know if he didn't spend as much time with offense, but yeah, it would have been cool to be a linebacker and having one of the greatest ever be your coach for sure.
Who is the guy helping you like for O-line? I mean, there should have been like some position coach there, helping you guys, wasn't there?
It was he was a really good Hawaii football player, yeah. Then he lived in Hawaii at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, University of Hawaii.
So, what about the game itself? I mean, I know again we said for scouting purposes, people don't necessarily think about the game so much. But I mean, is there maybe
cool.
just a moment in that game you want to share?
I remember pregame. So Brian Baldinger. And his famous Baldy's breakdowns. I've been following him on Twitter for a few years, learning from Baldy's breakdowns, lineman stuff. And he does everything. But I remember before the game, I was out stretching, getting loose, and he came up, talked to him for a little bit. We got a picture, so that was cool. just talking football with him for a few minutes before the game. Cause it was a televised event, the Hula Bowl was. And so, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, having a game that's televised, I think is very important, very important for exposure for some of you guys. I mean, so you go out there, you play this great game, and then you're heading home, and then
Yeah.
you're working towards like draft. So, how do you feel like that helped you in this whole like draft process? I mean, obviously you went out, you had I feel a pretty darn good pro day. I mean, you put up some good numbers, for scouts. But walk me through the rest of that, draft journey for you.
Yeah, the draft process is crazy. I remember I signed with an agent like 2 days after, maybe about a week after my last game, made that decision because throughout the year you're kind of gathering your thoughts and things like that. And then from there, it's you're moving. You're making business decisions. Where you're going to train, what all-star opportunities are going to come up. You're making decisions that you think are going to best fit you. So yeah, in January, I trained at Landau Performance in Denver. Trained there for about 2 or 3 weeks. Took a week off to do the Hula Bowl, which was awesome because I needed more tape, needed a little more film, playing different positions, like I mentioned. And then that Monday, I came back. I was back at the Landau Performance Gym, trained there for about 2 more months, had my pro day in March. And then after your pro day to the draft, you're mostly taking personality assessments, interviewing with coaches, interviewing with scouts, taking phone calls, this and that. It's a 24/7 process. It's crazy, all leading up to draft day. And then draft day or draft weekend is really the start, of your career, but you've been working at it for like 6 months at this point. So it's a crazy fun process. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, it was great.
So I mean, I know you went undrafted, but I mean, somebody had to have given you a call like that third day, wasn't there? Was there anybody giving you a call at all, just kind of letting you know what was going on? Like you're
Yeah,
obviously your agent, but
draft day was weird because everyone wants to hear their name called for sure. But going into that day, there were a few teams that we were thinking 6th or 7th round we were feeling good about. And then we were getting calls throughout the day of, hey, if you go undrafted, we want you. Hey, if you go undrafted, we want you. And it's like, you don't really want to hear that because you're like, well, I'd like to go drafted. You know what I mean? But while you're hearing that, you're making decisions with your agent, talking back and forth. So even though you don't hear your name called, it's a very busy day. So yeah, there was several offers on the table, and we made the best decision that we thought, me and my agent, that is, and my family. Just prayed about it, thought about it for about 20 minutes, made this decision with the Jets. I made a lot of sense, and we're excited about it. I'm super happy to be here.
Yeah, I mean, for some people, I know it sounds silly, but sometimes being undrafted actually might be better because, like, you're able to talk things over with your family and your agent, and maybe even put yourself in a great position to succeed. I mean, I know one thing.
Yeah.
I know one thing about the Jets that's really happening right now is you have a lot of young talent. You have a lot of rookies, on that team that are really making the roster. Like being the starter. So talk to me about that.
No, you're absolutely right. And I'll go back to what you said a second ago. If you're getting to that 6th, 7th round and you don't know how it's going to happen, a lot of times being undrafted, yeah, you can kind of hand pick where you want to go. Like, what's the roster look right now? Who else have they drafted? Who have they signed? You probably not. For me, at least, I wasn't going to go to a place that drafted 3 other linemen in that draft. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You got to hand pick places and schemes that you think best fit you and opportunities aligned up. So for sure. And then, yeah, with the Jets, great energy in the building right now. A lot of excitement, really with the youth, like you're talking about. Obviously, an awesome rookie quarterback and Zach, super talented guy, great leader, good dude just to hang out with. Also, yeah, a lot of youth, and then a lot of good veterans too, kind of taking guys under their wings. Really fun new coaching staff with Coach Sala coming over from the San Francisco 49ers. So a lot of good energy, and we have a cool mantra: all gas, no break. It's something that he started and something that we're really buying into. So Yeah, it's fun to be here in New Jersey, in Florham Park, New Jersey, right now with the Jets. Absolutely.
Nice. So I was just kind of wondering, with you, playing out in the Mountain West. I mean, did you guys ever face, BYU at all? I mean, does it feel awkward, having, Zach Wilson as your quarterback?
No, we actually never did face
Okay, I
BYU.
was just wondering. Every now
No,
and then you
yeah,
guys would have. So
that was like a rivalry game tradition, but for whatever reason we ended up not doing it. But I trained with some of Zach's teammates at Landau because it came up to Denver to train just up from Utah. So we kind of had a few friends, few mutual friends. Yeah.
cool. I mean, yeah, I mean, I remember actually sitting down with at least one of their offensive linemen. So I mean, some great dudes on that team. But
For sure.
obviously, again, now you're with the New York Jets organization. Talk to me about where you're at. What's going on with you right now?
Yeah, so right now I'm on something called injured reserve, which is in camp. I got an injury, and then if you're a rookie and you get put on that, you basically you can't be active this year. So thankfully, it kept me around. I'm able to learn the system, train at the facility, rehab at the facility. I'm staying here. So yeah, it's kind of like a red shirt year, I guess, the way I'm looking at it. I'm still learning the system, training, rehab, and get my mind and body right for the 22 season, and hopefully I can really take off from there.
Yeah, I mean, having a red shirt isn't necessarily a bad thing. You get a chance to, you know, kind of get yourself eventually worked into the system there.
Yeah,
Um,
kind of easing into the NFL, I guess you could say, but
yeah.
could have
So
been fun.
the other thing I just want to check on, I mean, you're deferring your military commitment, right? Is that kind of how that's working for you right
The
now?
way,
I
yeah,
mean,
yes, sir. The way it is, at least when I came out, we were able to defer our military service. So I still have 5 years of service, which I'm excited about, to serve, our great country. And the way I was able to defer it, obviously not canceling it, deferring it, is I do so much community service. So for instance, I'm able to be very involved with the community outreach team with the Jets.
mhm.
So like 2 weeks ago, I was at this town called Edison, helping run a youth camp. In November, we have a really cool thing for Veterans Day. I'm going to be at MetLife Stadium working with some troops. So that'll be really fun. So I'm still staying involved and serving, in the community, whether it's kids or troops or things like that. And then when my career is over, then I will have 5 years from there.
Right. Well, I mean, obviously for now, man, I mean, you're still working just like everybody else with that organization. I mean, you're going to meetings and practices and doing whatever you got to do just to kind of
Sure.
be a part of that team and just again, like we said, I mean, taking that red shirt, learning the system, getting eased into the bros
Pretty
a bit,
unfortunately,
but
went like that.
you know, uh, again, a guy who's very involved in the community, and I really appreciate that. And best of luck with all you got going on, Parker. I mean, it's been great sitting down with you, talking about your experience with the Hula Bowl and really how that has helped you in your journey. I mean, I think it's great. So, best of
Yeah,
luck
thank
with what
you.
best of
Yeah,
luck with
thank
what you
you.
got
Yeah,
going on, man.
yeah, it was awesome. I really enjoyed my time with the Hula Bowl. So thanks.